迫る人か地獄の軍団我らを狙う黒い影世界の平和を守るため Oh, hey guys, what you doing? We're just reading some 1970s comic books. You know those comic books from the 1970s, written by some guy with a crazy afro and a dream about vengeful superheroes. That's right. Wait a minute.
Nope. Wrong
You have a team of technicolored heroes. What is this, Spider-Man? There we go. Here we go. Okay, let's go. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Sentai. No, what? I see you threw me off. Welcome to the Rider Time Archive here on the Morphin Network, and we are here to discuss the original, the very toy Kamen Rider Ichigo. Actually, it's just called Kamen Rider. Episodes 1 through 7. Yes, it's a lot of episodes in a certain point of view. And yes, in honor of it, yes, I'm wearing the original belt. Well, not the actual original belt. This is the Legend series, but hey, close enough.
Yeah. I have several. Actually, what I don't have it on hand, but what do I have besides them? Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
So last PMC, one of our many followers found me and gave me this.
Ah, that's nice. It'll be perfect. I actually have that one.
Yeah.
It's got Ichigo and on the other, and there should be one more. I think it's either Kuga or Ghost. I can't remember. I remember it was double-sided or something like that.
It's just Ichigo and the number 45.
That's weird. Oh, it was probably a different one because it was like Sho on one side and Hesse on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
I know, just like those two lock seeds. Just like those two lock seeds.
There's a couple of Kamen Rider items that I do have.
Yes. And no, we're not discussing the manga or the reboot. Actually, it's a remake, not a reboot. But if you want to watch our discussion of the Hideki Anno Shin Kamen Rider, we already did that 2 years ago. So, and it's really funny. You know who went to see the movie with us? Jordan Fight. He was there with us.
What did he say about it?
He didn't say much, but hey, it's fun. It's cool that he was there too.
Yeah. Like I said, I saw the remake, the reimagine of that. I was in a theater by myself because I was like, wow, I'd be damned if there was maybe one or two people that even show up for this, And no, I was just by myself watching it, and I'm like, yeah, no, if you want just a quick summary of Kamen Rider, this is it. Also available for streaming on Amazon.
Yeah, it's no longer available on Amazon? Amazon's.
Again, what the fuck?
But, yeah.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this right here, this is where it started.
Yes, and also welcome newcomers from Twitch because as of this episode, we're also streaming on Twitch on my Twitch channel. So now you have 3 avenues to watch it on: live on Facebook, live on YouTube, live on Twitch. You catch recaps later on. Maybe I will cut some. Maybe I'll cut some clips in the future if they're within a 2-week period. Who knows? Yeah. So this is our experimental phase, and perfect timing because it's the original. So to clarify a little elephant cyborg in the room, we don't hate this season.
No.
We love it. It's just it's 98 episodes and 3 movies.
Like, I had a couple people reach out to me asking, like, yeah, the reactions that we had for the wheel, and I said, look, I to say that we dislike a series or hate a character, that is too strong a word.
Mm-hmm.
And coming from a guy who has read One Piece for 20 some odd years and seen the damn show, you know, I mean, my attention span is not small. It's not, you know, could easily be, but I'm just like, I have sat down and I have seen people talk about the original Ichigo, or the original writer and the story and everything like that, and everyone pretty much agrees in saying that, yeah, this show went on longer than it needed to go.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
well, this season in particular.
Yeah, the season in particular, because I mean, I know this is the first one, so there's nothing to compare it to.
Yeah.
The only
like take a look at Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Originally, it was set to be 40 episodes, but then it got so hot they had to film new footage for an additional 20 episodes. That was still season 1. To this day,
it surpassed the original Zoo Ranger footage where Hayam Saban literally went to Toei and said, "Hey, we need more footage." And that's why you kind of notice that the monsters towards like the later end of the season look nothing or go with the theming of what they had battled previously.
Yeah, and they recycled some of the new footage monsters to save money. Well, except for I think Pudgy Pig is like the one exception because he does come back for one episode.
America really loved Pudgy Pig. I don't get it, but I'm like, well, okay. But if you look at a lot of those monsters, that I could swear that doesn't belong in a Sentai, or that they feel like more like Kamen Rider villains. Which apparently someone said that they took a suit from a previous season and then modified it to make it like a Sentai, or like, you know, something that would fit within these new 2 footage. I'm like, that
There may have been 1 or 2. You know, what's funny is that I've been watching 5 Man, and I noticed some of the characters from 5 Man feel like they were used as the basis for some Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like, I wouldn't even go as far as to say that Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is closer to being an adaptation of 5 Man than it is an adaptation of Jew Ranger, despite using Jew Ranger footage instead of 5 Man footage. But like the villain personalities, the characterizations. I mean, yeah, the 5 Men were, teachers, not students, but like, let's be honest. The Yellow Ranger from 5 Man, she and Twee look very identical. And I'm not saying that as like, oh, all Asians look the same kind of way. No. I mean, like, they have the same hairstyle, the same fashion style. Their personalities are very similar.
It's like Illuminati confirmed. Because again, look at it's. I mean, yeah, you're right. Many people compare it to like Saved by the Bell meets the Justice League, but knowing what we know now, comparing to like there was a series that dealt with high school kids. I think that was the first one, because all other Sentais had dealt with like military or secret organizations,
or like researchers in a laboratory.
Yeah. I think 5 Man and Turbo Ranger
were the first time they used like a K through 12 setting.
Yeah, it's kind of like, that. No, Kamen Rider didn't get that until Forze.
Yeah,
which that was like a big major hitting point of their marketing for that show.
Yeah, I mean, like Hibiki kind of had Asumu in high school, in
That'd be
but like
the
but the
cast.
main writer wasn't actually like yeah. But then in
Yeah.
Decade, you did have like a 2-part episode where the writer was in a private school. So,
Mhm.
well, one of the alternate versions of the main writer was in private school. But
Yeah.
you're right. But you're right. Forza is the first time Kamen Rider did a school like in a full-time setting.
Yeah,
Where
and that's kind of the thing which, again, very few people have said. You are one of the few people that have pointed that out, that if that properly, if they had adapted it, 5 Man would have made more sense being Mighty Morphin because of the footage instead of like a bunch of dinosaurs. But come on. This was like around like Jurassic Park time, so
yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
I remember in the featurette for Power Rangers the movie, like they described the movie as being a cross between Wizard of Oz and Star Wars. I'm like thinking back on, I'm like, Power Rangers the movie basically is Star Wars meets Wizard of Oz because like you got like a team of Jedi who lost their powers and they go to the Yellow Brick Road to fight in like a wicked ooze monster to save a giant floating head.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's kind of what the adaptation was.
Mhm.
Even though in Japan it was not that, we kind of like made it so, because even though Goldar is technically a Griffin character,
Yeah,
they made they made
Griffonsor, yeah.
yeah, they made him seem more like he was one of the flying monkeys. And not to mention
Yeah, they even called him Space Simeon.
yeah, and also the fact that that in the Japanese, because of the Wizard of Oz and Bandora, rode around on a bike.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, well, no, I see it, but we're not
Yeah.
here to talk about Zoo Ranger. That's for another time.
Yeah.
But yes, this is it, people. This is right here. This is where it started. This is where your X's and your Super Ones and Strongers, your Agitos, your Kugas, Kivas, O's, Decade, Double, Gaim, Borze, all of them would not exist if it was not for one man and one man only, which is known as the Japanese Chuck Norris, which is Takashi Hongo.
Yep. Hidegata Sanshiro.
And that is played by the actor Sagatan.
Yeah. Mr. Fujioka. Hiroshi Fujioka, who's still alive. He's still kicking. Still did a lot of his own stunts in 2016.
That's why I say he's like the Japanese Chuck Norris. Like, no joke. People took the Chuck Norris thing and ran with it in Japan to say, like, yeah, Fujioka Sensei is pretty much that. Even so much that the YouTube channel Death Battle did a who would win in a fight, Chuck Norris or Fujitora Sensei. And apparently it was a draw because you can't beat them. They negate each other.
Yeah. Yeah, they both make each other stronger, like Goku and Superman. One is as strong as he needs to be, while the other gets stronger with increased resistance.
Yep. But yeah, again, this is where it all started. Just like with Ultra Q and Ultraman, that's where that started. It all just kind of comes full circle, because are we doing that in these reviews?
Yep, pretty much.
The crossover between Ultraman and the Kamen Rider?
Probably at the Ultra Q podcast, but our Ultra Quest podcast. But yes, we will. No, like we'll figure out a day where both you and Jacob are both available, so that all three of us would just review that special together. And I'm gonna be honest, it was the only time, they really did a collab between Tsuburaya and Toei, because it's like you have the big three: Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Ultraman, and like they've established a combined universe between Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, but Ultraman never really got any acknowledgement in the Kamen Rider universe beyond just the one special.
Yeah,
But seeing a giant Ichigo, though. But yeah, so to preface, the whole series actually started off with Ishinomori, and he had some really cool ideas. He liked the idea of morally gray superheroes.
he was about gritty before gritty was a thing. I
Yeah.
don't think Frank Miller had that aspect. No, it was definitely Jotaro-san. He totally was the one.
Yeah.
Ishinomori totally was the one that in Japan, because there was a superhero before the Kamen Rider. I think it was called Skullman.
Yeah. It was originally Skullman, and keep in mind, Ishinomori Sensei was he was famous for making characters like Kikaider and Cyborg 009. So a lot of the characters might look very similar. So like the original designs for Skullman looked a little bit like a Black Ghost from 009. Yeah. But just to be clear, they're two different characters. But I think that the 2006 anime did a much better job with the character design for Skullman. And yeah, Skullman was very gritty, very visceral, violent manga series.
But also then comedical. Remember, there was a point that Skullman he got hurt, and apparently all of Japan banded together to get him healed, and he did. And it's like he walks out of the hospital, and everyone is like doctors, nurses.
Yeah, it's like you could even say Sam Raimi was inspired by that when he did that scene from Spider-Man 2.
Yeah. Because I mean that's just if the people don't support their heroes, but then it's like, well, wait a minute, the hero's fighting against a government official or against because that's what Skullman did.
Yeah,
but it's but they knew he was right. They're like, no, we have to stand by him. We have to, because the hero can do what normal men and women cannot. He can go beyond. That is what Skullman did. That's what Ultraman has done. That's what the Kamen Riders and the Sentais and all superheroes have done. Even going as far as my hero with Isuku Midoriya, that he can be what the people need him to be. Not like a police officer, not like All Might or anything. They all can be the heroes we need now and today. And thus here is the inspiration for that, or one of the inspirations, because I'll tell you, Takashi Hongo, while very optimistic, really goes way hard than he needs to.
Yeah.
Especially within these first few episodes. Like, if you want to say an impression, he totally did leave an impression. And also a very nice set of hair.
Yeah, no, he had one of the best hairdos in as far as writers from that era go. And yes, just to be very clear, because he's based on Skullman, but had to be toned down for the TV censors. Oh, yeah. He came up with something similar to Skullman, which was Kamen Rider. And just to be clear, much like Skullman, he's not a hero of justice as much as he's a hero of revenge. And that's part of the reason why I recognize that Hideki Anno's movie is based on the manga more than it is based on the anime, because the in the manga, he makes it very poignant. It's like, I lost my humanity, Shocker will pay for this.
Yeah, he didn't need no parents, no girlfriend, no nothing to. It is strictly because Shocker took away his humanity.
Yeah, it's very much like the Green Day song, I Walk a Lonely Road, the only one that I've ever known. I'll kick these cyborg butts on the boulevard of Tachibana's tracks.
That's also kind of a recurring theme with all of Ishinomori's work, where look at Kikaider. Kikaider, while indeed a robot and a machine of war, he has more humanity and wishes to be human. or to gain more humanity than what he has. Same thing with the cyborgs. The cyborgs were all kidnapped and experimented on, like a certain rider. And now, instead of like just living mundane lives, they banded together and made a force of, in all honesty, revenge.
Yeah,
because they're not doing it for a country or for an organization. They're doing it for them. They want to get back at, which also is crazy because they also fought the Greek pantheon.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I remember the Greek pantheon where it's like we're like, oh yeah, Artemis might have had a thing for Joe, but then Apollo got upset. Geez, a main character who turns into a cyborg and has a rivalry with a character based on Apollo? Where have I seen this before?
Again, I'm like, Ishinomori, although a revolutionary and a creative mind at his time, was not very creative, because it's like, if you look at a lot of his work, it's like, that's from X, that's from Ultraman, that's from Skullman, that's from fucking, like, yeah, no, we get it, we get it. And again, it was the 70s, so
yeah.
But yes, here we go, and more Tachibana. More Tachibana.
More
we keep
Tachibana. Now, what's funny is that he did Tachibana did previously appear in Ultra Q and Ultraman Classic. The latter of which we will be reviewing after we're done with Ultraman X. So, but yeah, so we got so Tale as Old as Time. You know, it starts off with Takashi, like trying to like do a racetrack and beat his time, and then all of a sudden he's ambushed by these weird-looking painted-faced dudes and a couple of women too. And then the next thing he notices, he wakes up in the middle of a laboratory table being experimented on. Takashi Hongo, you are now a cyborg of Shocker.
Why did you choose Takashi Hongo? Like, I mean, again. You could also say a lot of people in anime and manga today were inspired not just by the Kamen Rider, but also by Takashi Hongo, because look at how they introduce him in this show in the first minute. He's a very respectable, astute, respected intellectual genius who works for a university and also loves his mom, races motorcycles, but donates the money to charity, blah blah blah. And I'm like, someone I know said to me as I was watching this, I'm like, that guy's giving off a lot of Light Yagami vibes. But if Light Yagami was actually a nice person.
Yeah. I would say he's kind of like Ryan Steele from VR Troopers.
But again, it's like but again, if you look at Takashi, just Takashi, and you look at Light Yagami,
it's the Blazer, isn't it? Chickstick the Blazer.
It's literally it's literally like, oh yeah, no, this is the 70s version, this is the 2000s version. I'm like, I'm not surprised, because again, in Shin Kamen Rider, Fujioka's son took over the mantle of the Kamen Rider, which a lot of people said, like, just talking, is like, he looked like Light Yagami became a Kamen Rider. Which I'm like, again, the inspiration's right there. The inspiration's right there. But yeah, Takashi Hongo is just all around good guy, loves his mom, rides motorcycles, tries to get into a race in Europe, but for some reason got abducted by Shocker because I guess he's just like, such a person is too good to not be turned into a cyborg.
Yeah, so basically what happened was one of the scientists working at Shocker, which again, why are y'all working for Shocker? We already went over this with the Government of Darkness in the previous season.
Yeah, but the Government of Darkness is inept as hell.
Yeah, at least. But like here, but the point is, you have these scientists who are there, who are just like innocent scientists who got involved with the wrong evil organization. It's like, yeah, so I kind of highly recommended Takashi Hongo because he's very athletic and intelligent. I
Yeah,
didn't know you guys were terrorists, though.
what did you guys? I mean, did not the giant eagle on the world kind of? You know what? Even though I know that that's not what that is, that looks vaguely familiar. Like, yeah, that looks like something that a certain later reincarnated starfish also had on one of his.
Yes, the Austrian asteroida.
Yeah, I'm like, So, did you think that these guys were giving you like what, giving like charity or something? What did you think Shocker was? They even blatantly say it that Shocker is the remnant of the Nazi party that are taking people and making them into human animal hybrids, literally creating furries. The
Yep.
Fiend.
The Fiends. Yeah. And they're not using CalArts suits this time. They're getting UCLA alumni instead.
Yeah, I there's not much well, when you think of Shocker, you think the whole but we don't get that right now.
No.
That comes later because that's a bit confusing because I'm like, yeah, these guys, one of them looks like Jiren from Dragon Ball Super, which I've never seen, but apparently that's also a reference because of Toriyama.
Yeah.
But yeah, for some reason, again, the operation is very quick, very painless, no scars, no nothing.
Except, your humanity is just removed.
Well, yeah, well, technically, yeah, but it's like, technically, no, because you've been enhanced. Now, you got away, Takashi, before they were wiping your mind or like completely make you into like a subservient creature. Technically you still do have your humanity because you're
yeah, they did. It's not like they erased your memories.
yeah, they didn't erase your memory, that you're not a loyal dog. It's not like you're taking orders from Shocker. I mean, you're still you're fighting against them. So, but then we wouldn't have a show. I guess, yeah, being turned into a machine and I guess not being able to do certain things at times, yeah, that what a bummer.
Yeah.
But you got a sweet motorcycle out of it.
Yeah.
The motorcycle, the one that every Kamen Rider must have now.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is where we address one of the earlier elephants in the room.
It's an elephant?
Yeah. See, it's like this. How do I put it? The whole henshin post thing, we don't actually see that in the first 13 episodes. You might notice there's actually a lot of parallels between Kamen Rider and Ghost Rider in that the first character to become this character, like they have a certain set of powers, but in the current zeitgeist, a lot of the powers that we currently know them for, they didn't originally have. Then the second guy, Hayato Chimonji and Danny Ketch, are the ones that do have the updated powers that we now currently know. And the second one shows up while like the first one goes away for a certain period of time for whatever reason, only for the first guy to inexplicably later to come back having all the powers that the second guy had that the first guy didn't originally have. And then they are either rivals at first and then team up, or they team up off jump. So, yeah.
Pretty much imagine if we had the first Kamen Rider. Pick any Kamen Rider. And their henshin poses, their weapons, their gimmicks were never a thing until the secondary riders showed up in like episode between 15 and 20. That's when you start getting the poses, the transformation, like imagine Gaim just becoming Gaim, no Loxy, no nothing until
or he has to do something very arbitrary and inconvenient, like he has to eat a blood orange and hop on one foot 3 times in order to transform.
Because they mentioned so many times that the way the Kamen Rider transforms is because the turbine and the wind activates it. So when he's falling or when he's riding the motorcycle, which that must suck at times.
Yeah.
You know, like, oh, prehension. Yeah, it's a condition. I mean, guys do get that sometimes. Okay, it's nothing to be ashamed of. But yeah, that we didn't get the whole like right. And yeah, we didn't get that till way later. We didn't get that until like again. We'll get there when we get there, but you won't see that at any time now. But yeah, well, the first episode we have the first enemy for a Kamen Rider, which I mean it makes sense, but at the same time I'm like, well, they were actually talking to Stan Lee at this time, you know, which is none other than the Spider-Man.
Yep, he's a man with spider powers. Spider-Man
with the spider head. But in the Shin, I loved in Shin that they never called them like their actual names. They called them augmentations, like Spider Og or Bat Og. I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure you guys would have been slapped with a lawsuit there because I'm like, the bad guy is Spider-Man.
Wait till they get to the second bad guy, Batman.
But it's like, no, not Spider-Man. No, not that one. Spider-Man.
That's Spoder-Man.
Yeah, literal spider man. I'm like, yeah. Although if you watch it on Tubi, as we told you guys to do, the subtitles say spider human or
spider humanoid or something like that.
Yeah. They're like, yeah, we don't want to get in trouble either.
Yeah.
I actually kind of did enjoy the fighting that came on. I mean, again, not much in terms of story and plot. I mean, pretty much like Takashi breaks out of Shocker, fights the Spider-Man and the Grunts in that famous, like, where the ravine is, the dam, and talk about a bloody battle. Like, no joke. Yeah, we had blood back then. People said that the Shin movie was very violent and very bloody, but I'm like, did you not watch the original show?
Yeah, it's like, and you could tell, like, based on the choreography, they're like really swinging. It's like, do they take for like choreographic precautions? Of course they do. But what we see on screen, they're definitely swinging harder.
Remember, just like in Power Rangers, this was the first of its kind. They had never done something like this before. And even the actors and many people on the show, especially our Kamen Rider, have said in interviews that I got punched in the face, I got kicked, I got, like, you know, when you saw me fall, I really did fall, and that's why Takashi Hongo actually left, because he got injured on the show and had to take a sabbatical. And here I'm like, man. Talk about getting your ass kicked at work. No kidding. Getting slammed onto concrete and thrown off of the ravine, and I'm like, wow.
Yeah, and then at some point his injuries get so bad that he's hospitalized, and then they have to replace him with another actor. So, and the thing is, because they film everything in advance, you know, like very far in advance, that literally April 3rd, 1971, Fujioka was lying in his hospital bed watching his debut episode.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine, like, again, when people asked him, did you think that the show would have been what it is? And it's like, no. But again, that he didn't realize it until, like, being in the hospital, laid out, but seeing kids watching it and just excited as all hell. He's like, that's what made me come back. That's what made me, I'm like, wow, I'm a hero to these kids. I'm like, yeah, you really are.
Yeah.
But again, this show has a very creative way of killing people. Sometimes they turn into foam. Sometimes they blow up. Sometimes they turn into pearls and just get pulled away. The Spider-Man was also, I think the Spider-Man got squished.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course, Midoriyama and Takashi end up going to hiding so that Midoriyama could like explain to him everything that's going on. While Midoriyama's daughter is given the address of their hideouts to, she was given the address by none other than Tobei Tachibana, but she hears in on the parts of the conversation, the very convenient parts that make you incorrectly interpret what happened in the actual discussion. That, yeah, Takashi is upset that like he's been augmented into a cyborg without his consent. He lost his humanity. He accidentally destroyed a sink crane, and while he had his head turned, Midoriyama like got it was turned into foam by Spider-Man. So naturally, Midoriyama's daughter's like, "Oh my god, Takashi Hongo killed my father. I must have my revenge."
What are you going to do? Well, her name was Reiko.
Yeah.
Reiko. Yeah. I'm like, okay, you saw your dad die, but you saw all these thugs and everything like walking around. I mean, the Kamen Rider pretty much avenged your father and killing the Spider-Man, but you still, for the next 2-3 episodes, are going to blame Takashi Hongo because he's the one that killed your dad, not the Spider-Man that you did not see. Okay. We got somewhat of a story here, but yeah, well, again, a fight happens, the Spider-Man is beaten, and again, we have that classic.
Sorry, it's Ruriko, my bad.
He rides off into the sunset. I'm like, wasn't it just nighttime? How come he's riding in the day?
Yeah, so as they establish, he doesn't just pose to transform. He needs to be traveling at a speed of 300 meters per hour. Sorry, kilometers per hour, in order to like get the necessary air pressure into his belt to cause it to transform. And the workaround for that, when we get to Hayato Ichimonji, is that doing the rider pose is like he's doing the rider pose because of the fact that like his cyborg arms are so strong that when he does the pose, it creates a 300 kilometer per hour turbulence that goes right into his belt. So he doesn't need a motorcycle to get the necessary pressure.
He's basically air bending, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, he's basically air bending. And then so yeah, it is an improved version. That's why he's number 2. But then when Ichigo comes back way later, somehow he's also able to just whoosh.
Yeah. But next episode, because again, battle happens. Now we have a story.
Yeah.
And we have our favorite gimmick come back. Vampires and tusks.
I was excited to discuss this one because surprisingly, they're not as bad in this episode.
What happened, X? Well,
Yeah.
I mean here's they were like this, right? And then
you're like this, and then they went to like this.
Yeah. And episode, they just had them just sticking out like, I'm like, what were they bitten by? A vampire elephant or something?
Yeah.
But yes, in this one we have Batman. Sorry, I had a caught in my throat.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally Batman, but pre Adam West Batman.
Yeah.
Batman. Yeah. You thought Adam West was crazy. This guy's even more crazy. Because apparently this Batman deals with viruses and infecting the populace of enclosed apartment buildings and also keeping them segregated until you need them to come together, which is a bad thing. The foresight.
Yeah.
Because again, we have the whole thing about people are just getting attacked because, yeah, I'm going to turn this whole apartment complex into vampires. Okay. That's actually very smart. Infecting one area and then possibly moving forward. You even go so far as infecting one of Reiko's friends who lives in the apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
And then she gets bitten and then tries to attack our Kamen Rider in broad daylight.
Yeah.
But wasn't it kind of, to me, it didn't make much sense. I'm like, so wait a minute. If the Batman, so supposedly the Batman, if he is asleep, then all the other infected people are asleep too.
Mm-hmm.
But she attacked him in broad daylight while he was already like knocked out from their confrontation. But then it's like she just delayed. Oh yeah, because apparently this virus only is active if the Batman is awake.
Yeah. So here's what's really funny about that episode. For a lot of people, they probably haven't seen this episode until it showed up on Tokusatsu on Tubi TV.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about that is that Tokusatsu came out in, I'd say, springtime of the year 2020.
Yeah, that's why I was like the foresight, man. Because again, a certain
virus from a bat.
And I'm like, well, you know what? It is proper. It really is.
Yeah.
It really fucking is. Wear your masks, people. But yeah, apparently, so Reiko, I don't know how to feel about her right now. I really don't.
She's a little irritating.
She's a little entertaining, but also kind of like, really? Are we doing this trope of like, I'm blaming the hero because of what I think I saw, you didn't really see? But regardless, Tachibana knows about all this. He knows about Shocker. He knows that Takashi is the Kamen Rider, and apparently, again, the famous Tachibana bar, where apparently these two girls work at, kind of makes it like, oh yeah, they're chasing after Takashi Hongo, like, oh no. Kind of like, suspicious but not suspicious. And I'm like, okay, Tachibana, if you know that Takashi is innocent and you have proof, why don't you tell her?
Yeah.
Why are you making her go and chase after him and then go into the building where they have the Batman locked up in a straitjacket that she is like, oh my God, what is he doing? Why does he have these people all locked up and tied up? And it's like, oh, he's going to trick her, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, he's no, don't worry about the date festival level of face paint on his face, darling, that make him look like an evil person. He's a good guy, I guess. Because Takashi Hongo is the bad guy. Only for her to get bitten, infected, and also having the Batman be the Batman, which when they say Batman, they really mean a Batman.
Yeah.
Not a bad look, honestly.
Yeah.
Not a bad look. Compared to the Spider-Man, this thing is like excellently made.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, apparently, the virus works with the Batman as long as he's awake, but it can also be, it's very, very potent and highly catchable. Is there a cure? Yeah. What's the cure? The bat has it.
And they do such a poignant job of tricking him into giving it out.
Yeah. It's like, not that they beat it out of him or make him like, tell me, like, swear to me, where is the antidote? No, none of that. He just says it.
Mm-hmm.
He just says it. I'm like, he actually takes one of the victims, which was his friend, which was Takashi's friend, because his fiance got infected and tried to and attacked him, but the bat literally, with his claw, injected the antidote and set him free. And I'm like, why did you do that? Why did you do? You're trying to take over the world here. Why would you admit that you have the antidote? It's in my hand. Okay. So all I got to do is lop off your hand. I just got to lop off your hand, right?
Yeah.
I didn't say which hand. You literally raised.
Lobs off the other.
Yeah. You literally raised this hand.
Did I mention that I'm Spider-Man's brother? Okay, I'll just lop off the other 4 hands. Yeah,
no, I'm just like, but again, the
did I say Spider-Man? I meant Dr. Octopus.
The fighting on top of the building at night was like, it was kind of hard to see. It's always like, again, watch in a very lit room, people, because
but still not as difficult to see compared to the Battle of Winterfell.
Yeah, it's like, very cool, very awesome. But the Batman gets like Rider tossed. Not kicked, tossed, and slammed onto the concrete where he just goes splat.
Mm-hmm.
Enough that it leaves his severed arm. Everything else was basically like turned into mush, except for the arm that can cure everybody. I'm like, man, you gotta love the Showa era. You really do. Like, we need this MacGuffin, but it's part of his body that if we shoot this missile that will disintegrate him, it'll disintegrate the entire body. Not if we shoot him at the right angle, at the proper trajectory, and also reversing the polarity that would only sever the arm.
Yeah.
I pulled out 3 sci-fi references in one go. Name them all. I dare you. But
that's funny.
Yeah. I'm just like, well, we got the arm. That's cool. Are we safe? I think so. Until the next Shocker agent shows up. But I'm like, okay, we fought in Marvel, we fought in DC. What's next? We're going after Mortal Kombat. Next episode. Enter the Scorpion Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're totally going fatalities here, people, because wow. And again, this was back in the 70s. Mortal Kombat wasn't even a thing yet.
Yeah.
Maybe Midway Games was a fan of Kamen Rider. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So we're now off to Scorpion Man. It's like, oh, these combatants and scientists were useless. So they're going to be punished, but we'll give them one more chance. So they can cross a desert in 10 minutes while having a ball and chain attached to their ankles. They'll be given one more chance, but if they fail, they'll be killed by ravenous scorpions. Naturally, they all fail. Like they go full Squid Game on this.
Look, I don't know. Well, you can't really say that scorpions are insects. Technically, they're not.
They're arachnids.
They are arachnids.
Which is why I have an issue with Kamen Rider Sword.
Yeah. Well, again, we had many arachnids and many crustaceans in Kamen Rider before. But
not as riders.
Well, we had one in Ryuki.
Liangle.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're right. You're right. Scissor was also a crustacean.
Yeah. So, well, I would imagine if you worked for Shocker and just decided to leave, or I would imagine they would have just done what they did back during the war and just take you out back like the dog you are and shoot you.
Yeah.
Because again, you've seen too much. You know too much. We can't just let you leave.
No.
But, decide to... Although it's crazy how they make the Scorpion and they say, this is the brand new combatant that we have made. And I'm
but he's a lot lower tech looking than actual...
I mean, how would you make a scorpion, or what would a scorpion look? I mean, have you seen scorpion faces? They're terrifying as all hell, but
yeah. What a lot of people don't realize is that the two pincers on a scorpion, they're not arms. They're pincers.
yeah, they're pincers.
Yeah, it's part of their mouth. So
Yeah,
it's not this, it's this.
They have mandibles, pretty much.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, those giant claws, like what you think are giant claws, are actually mandibles.
Yeah. So, I mean, well, now we know, but back then it's kind of like people still said scorpions were insects. Which I'm like, no, spiders are insects. No, they're not.
I still take issue with the whole snail thing in King Oger.
Oh yeah. Oh, let's not go into mollusks. Let's not.
Yeah, they're not even arthropoda.
Yeah.
You know, it's like that scene from Mean Girls. You don't even go to this phylum.
Yeah. But yeah. So apparently the Scorpion Man is someone that Takashi knows.
Yeah.
It's his best friend.
Yeah. I mean, they did a poignant job of making it a plot twist. Because at first, like, they make it seem like, oh, he's a good guy. Yeah, Tachibana let him. No, Ruriko let him inside. And then when a bunch of scorpions attacked this one survivor dude, which obviously they wanted to interrogate in order to get more information on Shocker, it's like, oh, no, he kills some of his own scorpions just to earn Takashi's trust. Oh yeah, and in an earlier scene, it's like they do actual tests to see like, oh, what the Kamen Riders are capable of. I'm like, you didn't do this in episode 2? I mean, I get it. You're busy, but
you didn't know what the Kamen Rider was capable of? Really?
I mean, to be fair, you know, like, I mean, it does kind of add validity to that one scene from Shazam when Captain Marvel needed his little brother to like help him learn which powers he has and doesn't have. It's like, shoot him in the face. Wait, what? What? I want to see. I want to see if only the suit is bulletproof or your whole body's bulletproof.
Well, yeah, but at the same time, it's like, why are we spending X amount of dollars and creating a cyborg that we know is like shit? And how much money and resources? Like, I would imagine you guys would at least know that this thing is capable of flipping over a car and withstanding, you know, simple firearms. You know, and I mean, I'm not asking for like a Hulk level type of endurance, but at least on like small firearms and, you know, enhanced strength and somewhat above average speed, instead of like, you know, I mean, later on, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, no, that's actually interesting. That's actually Spider-Man, Batman, and Scorpion Man are just kind of base, except for the Batman that actually used chemical warfare in his. What do these two arachnids do that is like other than spitting foam or using man-eating explosive scorpions? Which I'm like, you know, scorpions don't actually, well, they're predatory, but they're not like, it's not like a piranha. Yeah. But again, these scorpions, I guess, are modified because there's one that shoots a scientist in the face. Just kind of like explodes and just like blood all over him. I'm like, imagine a scorpion doing that. That's terrifying. But yeah, no, a betrayal. The betrayal of a best friend, which this is not the first time this will happen.
It's like, I willingly decided to become a Shocker combatant, but it's like,
why?
Why? Like, were you that obsessed with being in Takashi's shadow? And also, why did they not erase your memories?
That literally kind of irked me. I'm like, okay, so Takashi worked hard, did everything he needed to do, and yet your life is pretty good. Your life is, but you constantly compared yourself to Takashi. Takashi didn't do it. No one else did it, but you did it. there is a line between being inspired and being motivated by your friends and family, kind of seeing some type of friendly competition, and then there's just borderline obsession of like, I'm never good enough. But it's like, but wait, he never said you were never good enough. I say I'm not. That's your fault. It's not Takashi's fault. And you decided to make yourself I guess you didn't have a choice. Into like, I don't really like the Scorpion look here. I'm kind of glad that they updated the look in Shin Kamen Rider.
Yeah, well, first of all, they completely replace him with a woman, and she goes out like a punk.
She still had the exploding scorpions and whatnot.
Yeah, that's fair. But I do find it interesting how okay, I know his head is supposed to be based off the stinger of the scorpion, not the head, but the stinger of the scorpion. But the thing is, it does not translate properly, and
especially he has one hand and the other is a claw. I'm like, why?
Yeah, it's like,
why?
If you're gonna make his head a stinger, at least like maybe accentuate the actual needle a little bit. You know, like.
Hell, they could have made it like, he had like long hair and the scorpion, like his hair became the scorpion tail or something like they did with the scorpion augmentation. I mean,
if he had like a whip as a weapon.
Yeah, but no, they didn't even do that. It's like, I have a pit full of scorpions and I will throw you in there and let them eat you. How are they?
Hey, remember the Rat Fangires? How they were so well designed that you couldn't tell if they were rats or crows.
Yeah.
Don't you just miss that superior design?
Yeah, no, that is a thing, because again, if you were to tell me like, oh, what is this? It kind of looks like a crab. Is it a crab? No, not a crab. We're close. We're in the genus, but it's not.
Not even close. Not even close. They're in the same phylum, but not even the same class. A crab is a member of the Amalcastraca class, which is shellfish like lobsters and shrimp, while scorpions are from class Arachnida, which consists of spiders, scorpions, and ticks.
Damn those freaking bloodsuckers.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do actually enjoy the whole like dangling people over the pit of exploding cannibalistic scorpions.
Yeah, that part was kind of fun.
That was actually like, whoa, okay. So how are they gonna eat you if they constantly explode?
They don't.
I guess it's a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation, because either or, it's like, oh man, you even saw some of the grunts fall in there, and you're like, okay, yeah, I wonder if this is covered by workman's comp.
They're the World War II bad guys. Of course, they don't have workman's comp.
Yeah, the Socialist Workmen's Party does not have workman's comp, people.
The irony.
Yeah, the irony.
But if you survive for 5 years, you might get a 10% discount on your next purchase of a Volkswagen.
You know what? Honest, yeah, and you think he's joking? That was an actual thing. Yeah, it was an actual thing. It wasn't.
In fact, a certain Asteroida's Volkswagen had a mahogany interior, which John Lovitz made a fine point of in the movie Rat Race.
Yeah, but again, the whole thing about the Scorpion is, well, I say it. His motivations for being a villain in this are weak at best.
Mm-hmm. And pathetic at worst.
Pathetic. It's nothing. I'm like, why? Mm-hmm. Because you felt inferior to Takashi Hongo because he's nice. Everyone likes him. People like you. People care about you, but you decided to turn yourself into a freaking freak.
Wow, this is the source material for that one episode of Ultraman Tiga?
I guess.
Remember, Hori is love, Hori is life.
Again, it just the motivation makes no sense. I mean, the fight itself kind of was like, I would think that Takashi would have had more like of a sympathetic thing of fighting the Scorpion, but no, he just goes at it.
It's like you betrayed humanity.
Yeah. He beats him, he destroys him.
It's like I was robbed of my humanity. You chose to discard it.
Yeah, you while the devil took me away and did what he did, you
came to him willingly.
Yeah. It's kind of like also what happens later on in
Good?
Yeah, I lost my train of thought. It happens later on in a Sentai series. Remember, what was it? Not Live Man. It was. No, I think it was Live Man.
Or maybe 5 Man. Oh wait, are you talking about how in Live Man, the 3 friends betrayed humanity?
Yeah. Like it's like there was no reason for them to do it. They just kind of said, "All right."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. That's what. Yeah. You know what? At that point, that's not your friend, Takashi. Your friends motivate you. They make you do better. In fact, you could motivate your friends and your family, everyone. Anyone who is like, oh, he bought a car, I bought the more expensive car. He bought a house, I bought me a mansion. But you can't maintain that. The reason why so-and-so did is because they can, but you just always have to.
Did ask fight.
Yeah, you want to one-up him. And he's not doing that to you. So what the hell is your beef? What's your deal? I'm glad. I really am. I'm glad that the Scorpion was beaten so easily. I'm like, yeah.
Like he even grabbed him by the neck using his feet and then like spun him around, knocked him over. He turned into Kool-Aid. And then Takashi rides off with Ruriko. And it's like, I love that like their relationship is becoming more intimate. I'm not saying romantically. I'm just saying intimate because she's legit trying to atone for like the fact that like, yeah, I falsely accused you of killing my dad. I got to make up for it.
You hated his guts and were about to kill him, but now you're like, okay, I got to be nice to him. And also, Tachibana is also like he's vouched for him. So yeah, don't Tachibana Sensei is being like the good guy here. Which again, we get enough Tachibana, but not a lot happens with him in the earlier Kamen Rider seasons.
He does put up a good fight in one of the episodes here.
Yeah. But it's not like X where it's like, oh, we definitely
where he's like actively doing it every episode.
So next episode,
little boy's in a botanical garden with his sister who gets sucked up by the ground.
Yeah, what the you can't even go to the botanical gardens anymore and not feel safe.
See, because of X, I have trust issues when it comes to Japanese doctors and taxi drivers. Don't make me distrust Japanese plants too.
I think that's why Japanese taxi drivers are just so nice and so polite. It's like, bro, I'm not kidding you. If you turn into a goddamn monster right now, I'm taking the wheel and we're doing a hard left.
Oh, yeah.
But, so, again, this is the first time we have a child in a Kamen Rider.
Yeah.
Episode 4. Apparently, the monster of this show is a
Venus flytrap.
It's a Venus flytrap or something. It is an actual plant-based monster. Which cue the Little Shop of Horrors of Audrey 2.
Feed me, Takashi.
Yeah, this thing is just chilling in the botanical gardens, waiting for anybody to pass by for them.
It's like, why is he going after this girl? See, like I understand with the last couple of victims because it's like, oh, they're witnesses, they must not know. But like here, it's like, who even is this girl? Like even in X, it's like, oh, this person arbitrarily has ties to one of the 9 pieces of Project Mars, but like,
yeah, or also just the fact of like, okay, you captured her, you didn't eat her, you just kind of had her in the standby. Why?
Also, this episode reminds me of one of the scenes in Power Rangers that makes me cringe more than any other in the entire 30-year run of the series, and believe it or not, it isn't Izzy saying "Okay, Boomer." It's from the Lightspeed Rescue Lost Galaxy crossover when that one concierge at that building tells Heather, "Little girl, there's no such thing as monsters." I'm like, lady.
Oh
It's
yeah,
one,
we talked
it's
about.
one thing that if you don't watch the news at Angel Grove, but the demons are literally in Mariner Bay. Why do you think the Power Rangers are even here?
Yeah, it's one of those radicalistic, like I listen to a certain podcast. I don't believe Power Rangers. I don't believe there are monsters attacking. I feel like it's something that the frogs are doing, Which I'm just like, okay, yeah. But again, this episode was kind of like you could skip it if you so feel, because I mean, we get more on Takashi's like supposed loss of humanity because he tries to
Because he crushed the little kid's hands.
Yeah, I'm like, Takashi, you are a cyborg. Remember, you have to learn how to manage yourself now.
Yeah.
But
Proprioceptors.
yeah, why did this Venus flytrap monster take the girl? Why was he doing that in the first place? Because even so, it kind of felt like he also had a couple of grunts down there too, just like eating them or using them as something. There was really like no actual reason behind what it was doing besides just like, oh, I'm a monster.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like I'm gonna be honest, Shocker has much more concise plans for world domination than freaking Government of Darkness does. But you have the occasional nonsensical episode.
Yeah. Like honestly, the Bat Spider have been pretty good in terms of like what it is that they're trying to do. Scorpion and Venus flytrap, not so much. It's either
it's more like this. I'll give Scorpion credit, a little bit of credit. Spider was the recruiter. Bat was the infector. But then Scorpion is the Punisher. He punishes people who fail their missions and eliminate witnesses and whatnot. But what is the Flytrap's plan?
I guess it's just being a plant. You're just waiting for food.
Feed me.
Yeah, pretty much Audrey 2. But Audrey 2 actually, in the deleted scene, actually did, do something and become a kaiju.
Yeah.
But we just get the whole like the Kamen Rider is friends to all children,
Yeah, and of course, the plant dude kills the witness because Takashi did capture a combatant to interrogate, and classic Kamen Rider trope. Ichigo was waiting at the window the whole time, and we have a cool nighttime fight scene, which honestly, it's dark, but I like it. It creates certain ambience.
Yeah, there's a lot of dark scenes in this, especially with the monster that's coming up after the fly trap.
Yeah, one thing I really hated about Power Rangers is that there weren't enough episodes taking place at night.
Not a lot. I mean, unless you had I forget what his name was in English, but Great Satan would show up, the Dark in the Skies.
Yeah, it's very rare. Yeah, or like I think it was most prominent in Lightspeed Rescue.
Yeah. Like whenever like an enemy came in, but here it's like there was a lot of nighttime battles and scenes. I'm like, no, that's actually pretty cool. Or like in dark corridors, because there's a few moments that come up soon that now the Kamen Rider infiltrated Shocker very quickly.
Yeah. And again, keep in mind, this show is basically Japan's response to Doctor Who. Like, Doctor Who is supposed to be scary and suspenseful, but in a child-friendly way. Kamen Rider is supposed to be the same thing. It's supposed to be, suspenseful and scary, but in a child-friendly way.
Oh yeah, no, I know.
And sometimes some night scenes are very important for that. But nevertheless, being true to Ishinomori style, nothing beats the boa juice from Phantom Flying Ghost Ship.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, especially love that scene where like that giant mechanical crowd takes that politician, just like dips him into that boa juice, and he just immediately turns into foam.
Mm-hmm.
Good times. One of these days on the Butter Show, we need to review that movie.
We'll see when we got the time for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Episode 6. We were very pressed for time here. Yeah. So episode 6, we find some interesting developments in the biology lab, but there's an even more interesting thing happening in the geology lab, because apparently a female friend of Takashi's has created a device that could make controlled earthquakes. And actually, this catches Shocker's interests.
Yeah, and we deal both 6 and 7 is a two-parter because we deal with the chameleon.
Yeah.
And again, very interesting how this monster looks. Very, again, like you want to say, what would a human and a chameleon look like fused together? This thing, very, very creepy. Again, chameleons are not creepy, but we just always have to make them look creepy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's really not much to say about episode 5, though. The monster of the day is a mantis. And yes, they combine both of these two monsters in Shin Kamen Rider, which is an interesting choice.
That's why I was just like, huh. But I will say that the mantis was actually very violent. He was very
there's like a scene where he throws a sickle at Takashi and it just keeps going after him.
Yeah, it's a very, mantises, you could argue are violent, but it's not that they're, they just do what any other animal does. It's just
eat and survive.
How we view it, spiders don't, insects are very, very, very predatorial.
Yeah.
But just because you see a mantis doesn't mean, and they look creepy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you got the geologist. She just basically bonks Takashi on the head so that the mantis dude could take her to the Shocker stronghold. But it turns out she has a tracking device on her, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Funny, but where it come from, I don't know.
Yeah. But it goes about as well as you think it would go. There's a giant mantis egg which controls the device, but Takashi defeats it quickly enough. But I love the way the mantis kills his prey, because he basically turns people into beads. It's like, oh my god, he turned into beads. Wait, maybe if we assemble these beads, maybe we can revive them. Oh no, the beads are being pulled away in an arbitrary direction. No.
Yeah, what?
Yeah.
What? Yeah, I guess. That's the only thing to say about the mantis, other than being like a very formidable opponent and turning the victims into beads. Not.
I love how you can't even see the strings. On the stickle.
Yeah.
As opposed to certain other seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, episode 6 and 7. It's a two-parter. Nice.
Yeah, it is. We deal with the chameleon. Deal with the chameleon, as I said.
And basically, the dude is creeping on the little kids. And so is Takashi. So when we saw him in 5 Riders versus King Dark, this wasn't new to Takashi, because he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
So the chameleon murks this dude, goes invisible, and tries to pull a weekend at Bernie's.
Yeah, why did he kill this guy? What's the reason?
It's like you could have just held the dude at gunpoint and just become invisible while the gun is is pressed against his back. I
Why?
don't know why you have to.
Why become him and infiltrate his family and his life? Like to me, it didn't seem like any reason to do that.
Mhm.
But it's like for some reason, that has nothing to do with it. It's the fact that Takashi Hongo finds a box that has a swastika on it.
Yeah. So much like that episode of Black Lagoon. Yeah, we find out here that Shocker were originally Nazis.
They said it in episode 2.
Yeah, but Takashi didn't technically know this because he's like, "Why? What is the connection between the Nazis and Shocker?" I'm like, "Really? You can't tell?
Well,
Does the giant eagle in their headquarters not tip you off?"
Yeah. See, the thing was, once all that kind of went south, a lot of them scrambled. Like that. Literally, some of them went to South and Central America. Some of them went east. So
some went to Africa.
Some went to Africa. So, the fact that, Shocker is literally the remnants of that party. Hell, they even have an entire 2-minute segment in these episodes of showing the Fuhrer, of showing what he did and what was going on and what had happened. And it's like, what does this box have to do with it? Mm-hmm. Well, apparently there's something in this box that they really want, to the point that they even bring out old retired Nazis. Because they know what's in the box.
Yeah, what's in the box? Who gets the box? What's inside the box? And how much is what's inside the box worth? Storage wars.
They even got so many iron crosses in this episode that I was like,
around their necks too. It's like I know you're going for the whole Klansman look, but.
And that is actually a thing that the Nazi Party did wear. It's historically accurate.
Yeah, but some of them were very into the occult.
Imagine having a soldier having their pins or their ranks and all that stuff. Yeah, that was what the Nazis did. If you had the Iron Cross, you were probably a big shot or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But Shocker wants to get their hands on this box because why? It's got a swastika on it.
Yeah. Again, who gets the box? What's inside the box? And how much is what's inside the box worth? Storage walls.
Again, why did the chameleon have to infiltrate the family before and the little girl? I don't know.
Yeah.
And now that he knows that Takashi Hongo has this box, which apparently he just found.
Yeah.
Just kind of laying around.
Yeah. And we have our first instance of the tired trope of the untrustworthy taxi driver.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. And I'm like, why?
Yeah, they gas him up, and thankfully, because while he's still technically human, he is affected by it, but because he's a cyborg, he recovers from it more quickly. Okay, that's a little arbitrary, but okay. Mm-hmm. And also a scientist working with Takashi is like, I don't know what's inside the box. I don't see a lid. I don't know how it's supposed to open. But then he gets jumped by the chameleon dude while Tobei Tachibana is trying to retrieve the box.
Mm-hmm.
Again, I stand by what Brad Pitt said. What's in the box?
But apparently, they captured Takashi infiltrates Shocker. Yeah. And apparently they have the box now, but apparently the box is fake. Yeah. But they put Takashi in a very pressing manner in a room with a collapsible ceiling, Yeah,
because the Nazi scientists figured out that his weakness is a cramped room with a vacuum.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But apparently the Nazi scientist didn't know that the box was fake.
Yeah. Yeah, so I guess this is not just a government of darkness type of thing. It's been a Shocker thing for a hot minute.
It's a Nazi thing. They're inept. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They just take everything at face. Yeah, well, he said that this was real. I'm like, no, it's not.
Who gets the box? What's inside the box? And how much what's inside the box for us? Shocker, an empty, nothing, and zero.
Yeah, although it's kind of crazy that, I mean, they were about to kill Takashi Hongo.
Yeah.
He was going to die, but they pulled him out of the room to interrogate him. Where's the box? Where? I'm like,
where's the box?
Where else could it be? Who else does he hang out with?
Tobei Tachibana.
Probably
no.
Tachibana has it, but they're like, you know, you have the box. We need the box. We're like, oh my god, it's worse than scalpers trying to get Pokemon cards.
Oh god!
They go so far as attacking Takashi Hongo for the box.
It's like, where is that first edition Charizard card?
Yeah.
You'll never know.
Yeah, it's yeah. But yeah, as always, you know, the grunts are just inept. They don't find him. They can't find him.
Yeah, he's hiding in an air vent. Who'd have thought?
Yeah. But yeah, no,
but thankfully, Takashi escapes with the scientists, and turns out that there's like a secret Nazi weapon that could take over the world. Of course,
that's what's in the box. Yeah,
but it's well hidden, and there's a map to it. But Ruriko has the map. Meanwhile, Tachibana disguises themselves as scientists to keep the chameleon distracted. Let's see how that plays out. But then the chameleon does something that he should have been able to do a long time ago. Walk on walls, baby.
Yeah, don't know why that's not a thing.
Yeah, but Tachibana wearing that fake mustache though, it's foreshadowing stuff that happens in Kamen Rider Super 1. Let's see if you can remember what that is. No, I'm saying when we get to Super 1. I'm curious if you remember the fake mustache long enough for you to remember what it was referencing in Super 1.
Again, I've not seen Super 1, so I wouldn't. Yeah. But again, I'll put a pin in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and we have one of the obligatory scenes of fighting on top of a tower.
Yeah, but again, more Nazi backstory, because apparently the scientist was also part of the Reich, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, Nazis. We're fighting Nazis.
Yeah, kicking Nazis. So if anyone posts a picture of Kamen Rider kicking Nazis, and someone in the comments says, "What's with this woke agenda?" Just remember, he's been woke since 1971.
Yeah. Also, Nazis are bad people.
Yeah.
We do not support the Nazis nor anything of the Nazis. So that's not woke. That's just common sense.
Yeah. I remember this weird post. I can't remember if it was on Twitter or Reddit or something, but it's like a picture of the Death Eaters from Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. And someone said, and I quote, "Wow, they look like the KKK, but evil." And I'm thinking to myself, wait a minute. Hold up.
What do you
mean, but evil?
But evil.
What do you mean by that?
What do you mean? What? Excuse me? What? Okay. Moving on. What? How does this episode end?
So they dig up a coffin with a swastika on it, and you're thinking, "Oh my god, is that where the Austrian asteroid is buried?" No, turns out it's a cyborg grasshopper. So he's like, "Surprise, mother!" Punch.
I'm not saying how dare you, but I'm like, what did you do with the body?
That's a very good question.
Because again, it's like, oh, this is where the Fuhrer was buried. I know because we buried him here. And then you open it up and there's the Kamen Rider. I'm like, so what did you do with his body?
Can you imagine? Like a very dimmed image of Ichigo, and he's like,
he just kind of
"Hail, shocker!" I'm like, "What?"
Yeah, kind of just throws it in the trash or something, or like whatever. I'm like, well.
Yeah, so they have a fight sequence. He defeats the chameleon dude. He dies like a punk, and then little girl who definitely doesn't look like Trini's cousin from the Pineapple the Clown episode is celebrating her birthday. Yay!
Yeah, happy ending.
Happy ending.
Because of course we have to have a happy ending.
It's a kids show.
It's a kids show, so yeah, it's proper.
Yeah.
But yes, that is all 7 episodes of Kamen Rider, the beginning.
Yeah. Yep.
Jeez.
Yeah, just 19 more videos to go.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well, this was fun.
It was very entertaining. I mean, we can't compare this to anything else because this is what everything gets compared to.
Yeah, this is this is the reference, not the thing not the thing that you're comparing the reference of. So
this
is
the beginning. So I don't want to hear anyone complain about it.
I enjoyed this because it really set the tone to a lot of stuff that happened. So yeah, honestly,
I mean, it gets referenced a lot in later seasons and later, even today, the Kamen Rider. Still, there's a lot of, they've done like adult Kamen Rider themes. They've done the Amazons. They did Shin. They did Kamen Rider Shin. Like a lot of but again, a lot of it was based off of the earlier days of Kamen Rider. Which again, if you're like, this is a kids show, yeah, it was totally a kids show back then.
Yep.
That chameleon killed the little girl. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a kid show.
Yeah. I know there's a John Wick scene right here somewhere.
Yeah. That's
wait. Hold on. Where's the? Hold on. I know it's here somewhere. Oh yeah. I think it's a little further back. It's somewhere over here. But yeah, there's a dog that gets bitten by the bat. And then, feel bad for the dog. But yeah, no, this is much darker. Yeah. So if you thought the TV show was dark, this is even darker.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely pick it up at your local Barnes & Nobles or Amazon or whatever your method of purchasing manga is. As far as the episodes go, I give them a 10, 10, 9, 8, 9, 8, 8.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to agree on that one. Because, again, all of them, be as they are, this is where it all started, people.
Yeah.
This is where it all is, so.
Yeah, some of the episodes, they set the tones, and some of them had really cool stuff in them that make them worth watching. Now, will the next 6 episodes follow up? Find out next week on Kamen Rider Z. I'm just kidding. There's no Z. This is the original.
Yeah, so just stay tuned and watch us and see what's going on. But what do the people have to say?
Find the Kamen Rider. Rider, jump, rider, kick. Okay. Hey, MMPR Forever on Twitch is saying, hey, it's been ages. I know. I haven't seen you in forever. How have you been? It's so cool to see you doing the original. Yes.
Yeah.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good luck. Again, marathon, not a sprint. Are you guys doing the 45th anniversary film? Yes, we are, because the movie's literally called Kamen Rider 1.
That one is what?
It's the one with the icon that you're holding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's It's the one where old man Takashi has to protect Tobei Tachibana's granddaughter from freaking Ambassador Hell, who's definitely not the leader of Badan.
All right. We'll totally watch it then.
Yeah. Scorpion Man is basically Jonah Hill from Megamind. You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
God damn. You compared him to Jonah Hill.
From Megamind.
Come on.
But Roxanne!
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Okay.
Oh wow, a 7 reference. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, like, it's like this. In this 2-part episode, drink for every time someone says the word box.
Oh, we'd be out. We'd be totally out.
Yes. And then you go home and watch a fair show about who gets the box, what's inside the box, and how much is what's inside the box worth. Still it's rules. Man, yeah, in case you haven't figured it out, that was a Helsing reference.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm not going to do the full speech. It's really funny. Go watch it. It's my Christmas tradition to watch all 10 episodes. But yeah, if you enjoyed, please be sure to comment, like, and subscribe to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Ding the bell icon, stay notified for our latest videos. And also, we are now going to be streaming Rider Time Archive on my personal Twitch as well. So be sure to give that channel a follow as well. We do Kamen Rider X. Oh, sorry, yeah. We do Ultraman X the movie this Monday, tomorrow, and we will follow that up with the original Ultraman on Mondays. Wednesdays we got Kamen Rider Gav saying tried and true, along with the number 1 Sentai King number 1 Sentai Go Juger. Yeah, King Oger made a cameo in the first episode. You can't really blame me for this. And then finally on Sundays we got this right here, Kamen Rider 1971, rocking it tonight, and for the following 19 Sundays to come, with the exception of Japan.
So brace yourself, kids. We're gonna be here a while.
We're gonna be here for a while. Yeah, it's like doing Kamen Rider Gaim, but for 3 weeks longer.
Yeah.
Think of it that way.
Yeah.
And think of it this way. Once we finish this season, the longest season we will have left to do will be Sky Rider with 54 episodes. But we're not doing that one for a while.
We'll see what the wheel will tell us in 19 weeks.
Yeah, okay. And of course, check out our recent interviews. We uploaded Rory D. Travis and Kelson Henderson right here on our YouTube channels. Definitely check those out. And of course, follow our sister channel, The Buttery Show, where we do all things movies. And if you want to follow our personal content, where can the people find you?
Just on IG. Thank you so much for everyone's kind words and support.
And you can find me on Instagram at Boken_Kabuto and on twitch.tv/BokenKabuto, where you could also watch our pre-recorded Rider Time archives, both live and, after the fact. So please be sure to check that out, and please give me a follow. And with all that said, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Please be sure to stay safe, stay hydrated, update emergency kits, hug your loved ones, and we'll see you all again next time. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.